Hello and welcome back. Leyzar here with another update for you guys for Heroes of the Storm. The Mayhem Begins event has just concluded something like, I don't know, a couple hours ago. And we got to see a whole bunch of brand new content. We got to see the Butcher, we got to see the Battlefield of Eternity. We also got information on this whole Eternal Conflict event, which is going to span out through a couple of months. And we're gonna get additional content other than the Butcher and this brand new Battleground. There's been talk of King Leoric, and you can see him in the artwork that Blizzard showed off, okay? So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Leoric during this event. And there was also talk about a brand new Battleground other than Battlefield of Eternity. So we might actually get another Battleground apart from Battlefield of Eternity, also Diablo 3 themed. Okay, so this event is all about Diablo themed contents, which is absolutely awesome because they've been very underrepresented in the game, if you ask me at least. So I like the event. Okay, this was what I was expecting at the launch event in London, but hey, we got to see it now, so I guess no harm, no foul. Other than that, I'm gonna roll the footage for the Battlefield of Eternity gameplay. You'll get to see the Butcher in here with that brand new skin. Okay, for him, I don't know what it's called yet. It looks like some kind of a metal Butcher here. So, without further ado, guys, here's the footage. Commentary is done by Cloaken and Trixler.
Alright, man, here we are on the left side. You're gonna see the Butcher. Once again, we actually paired him with the Crusader, Johanna. Boy, they are a strong combo. Yeah. So much CC and flinging people around. And of course, they have a nice amount of heroes here with Rhaegar, Vala, and then Tassadar on the very top. So a strong comp here. Very, very solid when it comes to team fights. Now, the red team has a little bit of a weird team, and we kind of wanted to show you some of the strategy that you can pull off in this Battleground. Gazo can be very, very powerful because the Immortals, as Kevin mentioned earlier, can be defensive or offensive, however you want to play. So if you set up a lot of turrets around your defensive Immortal, you can actually set your team up to go farm out the lanes, get experience, and get an advantage. So they're going to try that out with this strategy, but we do have the Vikings, Uther, Diablo, Jaina, and Gazo trying to face off.
And of course, a quick shout out to the art team for the art on this Battleground. It is incredible. Clearly, two different tile sets in one Battleground. We've never been able to do that. We actually had to increase and level up our tech to support a Battleground like this. Full hell side, burning hell side, and high heaven side on the left. So really, really cool. Really brings that Diablo fantasy to life in the Nexus. And of course, we're just at the start of this game right now. You have about 1 minute and 45 seconds before the objective kicks in. So you're going to see heroes, you know, just meleeing it up, battling it up in lane, gaining experience where they can. The Butcher is clearly farming up his fresh meat trait, which we talked about. And man, looks like we are going to get an early kill on the Butcher in this fight here. 4v3 actually, or 4v4. Blue team loses Butcher.
Butcher getting a little aggressive against 3 turrets in the CC from Diablo, and it's going to be taken down. Now, the top lane, the Vikings are just doing their best to soak that as well. But you're right, the early game is a little bit normal compared to normal maps. What you're going to be doing is trying to soak, get to level 4, because the Immortals, coming around 1 of 45, are usually around level 3. So you have about a good 30-40 seconds before you're going to try and get 4 level more popping up. But now we have some more aggression in the middle here. We do see the Johanna getting focused down here by the turrets. You got to be careful, man. You can't engage Gazo like that. But Gazo needs to set up right now because he needs to start moving towards where the Immortals are, because they'll be here in 15 seconds.
Yeah, right now, Immortals spawning in 10 seconds. That center area, which we got to look at just a couple seconds before, is where we're going to see our attention drawn right now. Immortals spawning in 3, and here we're going to see them. Keep in mind, the location of these spawns for both the Burning Hell side and the Heaven side is random. This first spawn is random between the north and south point. So you don't actually know where your Immortal is going to spawn or how you're going to react. So you always have to be on your toes and paying attention. Of course, blue team trying to push the red team out so that they can start to deal damage on that red Immortal.
Now, I know we have a fight happening here in the middle of the Battleground, but just look at all of the weird corridors and the vision. This place is scary and dark. In fact, scouting drone is actually, we recommend picking it up because you need some vision, because it's really hard to see a lot of stuff that's occurring, and Gazo's trying to take advantage of that by just putting up turrets everywhere and hiding behind walls. But you see them sitting next to their red Immortal right now, so they're playing defensively, and that allows them to move towards the level 4 and push out the lanes. But the Immortal, if you're playing defensively around it, will be offensive against the opponent. So they will put down area effect abilities. They'll also do a slam/attack animation that they'll try and give them off. There's the AoE right there. That's for ranged attacks. And then we'll show off the melee one. Here. There it is right here. It'll knock everyone back in that radius.
And both of those abilities also stun. So, you know, when you're getting into major team fights around Immortals, it is such chaos because you're seeing this multi-point like Diablo's Apocalypse Heroic, if you're familiar with that, this multi-point damage and stun happening along with this melee sort of cleave, and stun. So it is absolute mayhem when you have full team fights happening like the one we're seeing here right now. Red team kind of getting pushed out by the blue team here. Of course, Johanna, such a strong character. Yeah. She can just wade into them all. There goes the kill on Diablo, and you know, Johanna's not done. She wants to secure at least a kill on that Eric, but not able to take him down.
Now the blue team's gonna try and go to the other Immortal and get it down to 50%. As soon as the Immortal moves down to 50% health, they will actually fight in the middle, kind of anime style, and they'll go ahead and trade positions. Or not trade positions, they'll go into a random spot, but they'll always be facing against each other. So now with them being down to 50%, you'll see them kind of go in the middle and clash, which, by the way, I love this animation.
So cool.
It's so very Dragon Ball-esque, very, very cool. And we're going to see both of them pull back and kind of just start fighting again.
So, and again, that is totally random. So the Immortal that falls to 50%, he will go to a random position in the other 3 positions. And then, of course, the opposing Immortal will go opposite that one.
Now, the red team is actually grabbing these mercenary camps, which, by the way, are new to this battleground. These ones are the Fallen Shaman. They actually have 2 hounds in front of them that will always be pushing. And the Shaman, if you do not kill it, oh, by the way, we just saw an Immortal win.
Pretty sick.
Awesome animation. He's going to go and channel up here, get really strong, grab the shields, grab the health, and remember, he'll be always pushing the strongest lane. That way they can kind of counterbalance that.
Yep.
But back to these guys.
Yeah, these Fallen Shaman, really interesting. If you played D3, you are familiar with these monsters. They are able to essentially resurrect their hounds. So you really want to focus destroying the Shaman first. Otherwise, you're killing the hounds needlessly. The Shaman's just going to resurrect them. And of course, here we're seeing the blue team Immortal push in their favor. I wanted to talk a little bit about that channel you saw after the blue Immortal was able to take down the red one. When that happens, the Immortal takes on a shield. That shield allows the Immortal to fight at range. So essentially, the more health your Immortal has going into this laning phase, the stronger its shield. Each time it deals damage at range, that shield lessens. So you want to enter with a shield that is super duper strong. Of course, we're seeing a little bit of graphic hitches here. Like we said at the beginning, this is recorded on a dev build, so some of it is still works in progress. You are going to see some oddities here that you will not see in the live game. But that shield, super important. The second it drops, the Immortal will fall to the ground and push into melee, which is super interesting strategically.
Yeah, that it is. We now have a little scuffle happening down here on the bottom. Looks like Johanna might just get picked off. Just kidding, she's Johanna. Gonna be able to walk away, super powerful. But you see the red team, their strategy's kind of falling apart a little bit. They're trying to get back into it, trying to get ahead in experience here, and they're starting to work together. And now they're gonna walk up, start throwing down the turrets, but the Butcher charges in on top of Gazlo, trying to focus him down. The laser does go off, but finally Gazlo's gonna be thrown down. But remember, this entire strategy is built around fighting in the middle and really kind of holding down the Immortals. They want to play defensive.
We saw the blue team pick up one of the other mer camps. So on the north and south part of the map is another unique set of mercenaries. These are of course, the siege camps. You're seeing them right there in the bottom of your screen there. They're the Khazra from D3. If you played Act 1 and D3, you're familiar with these guys as well. These are a little different from the siege giants that you've seen in our previous maps. They only deal single target damage. They have less health than your typical siege giant, but they do increase damage to buildings. So the second those north-south merc camps get onto your fortifications, you really want to make sure that you're taking care of them quickly.
Yeah, and if you're a team knowing that the Immortals are coming up and you're in a position to grab those Impalers, you want to go ahead and grab them ASAP because they will break down turrets right away. And you see the red team trying to do that right now, and they're trying to move to level 10 as well because the blue team is pretty far ahead. And you see the Fallen Shaman nabbing her out for the blue team. This puts pressure on the map, which opens up this fight here in the middle for the Immortals.
Yeah, absolutely. That time between Immortal cycles, it's about 1 minute and 45 seconds, is absolutely when you want to be taking merc camps to set up the situation going into the Immortal phase when it pops again. And of course, red team, all the way up here in this top lane, they know the blue team is sitting on top of their Immortal. They got to get in here and essentially stop that.
This is advantageous for the red team. They know they can get a couple turrets up, they'll be able to help defend this, but the blue team doing their best to focus down this Immortal down to 50%, so it will move before Gazlo can set up. So doing a really good job kind of countering the entire style. And Bayla getting picked off isn't actually helping the red team either because they're losing experience. But the red team finally does fortify this position, and you see the blue team realize, all right, we can't fight with turrets and the Immortal defending. So they go for this strategic option. They go straight for the fort to get level 10. That way they have their heroics.
Yeah, it's really smart on their part. They realize, you know what, we can't take that. Let's get some experience. Maybe we can get our heroics early and get into a stronger position later, while essentially the red team is securing that kill on the Immortal.
And the red team realizing that they need to get level 10 too, because they won't be able to fight the Immortals. Now that everyone walks away from the Immortals, which is where all the action is, to get level 10. We have the red team pushing the top lane here, getting their own level heroic abilities. And remember, they do have a pretty strong wombo combo with the Gravel Bomb and Jaina. So now everyone's going to move to the middle here and trying to get on these Immortals and start fights.
There you're seeing those Impalers, man, just chunking away at buildings. That is absolutely when they're most strong. So as a team defending against a push like that, you need to pay attention. Whoa. huge team fight here. Gazlo trying to just get in here and mix it up. He is a very strong hero on this map, actually, for maintaining control around these Immortal points. Red team jumping in right now on this blue Immortal, and there you saw the AoE cleave. Both of his abilities dealing damage, pushing and displacing. Actually, the melee one displaces, but they both deal stuns.
Now, the red team, they have a wombo combo base type of composition, so they just used it all, right? They're taking out 3 members. So their entire objective right now is to focus down this Immortal, burn it ASAP. That's all they're going to try and do here. They don't want to do any more fighting. The Archon, though, is doing a really good job of kind of delaying them from that objective so that their opponents can't spawn. But you're going to see the red team just right-click this Immortal, kill it off, so they have a stronger Immortal pushing lanes later.
Yeah, Diablo just trying to push away the aggression from the blue team, and that Immortal is almost taken down here. We did see the Viking ultimate pop there. Gazlo, in a bad position here, running away from Johanna. She is going to pull him back, and it looks like he's probably going to fall out of this fight with the blue team sort of collapsing upon him.
Poor Booster finally going to be taken down, but looks like the red team's Immortal did win. He actually beat out the Hell's Immortal, and now he goes down the bottom, because remember, this is actually the strongest lane for him to go into right now.
Yeah, very interesting that these Immortals, they can be very versatile. They don't just push a single lane like, say, a map like Haunted Mines, where the Golems push one particular lane every game. This is very versatile. These Immortals will look and go towards the strongest lane to push against your opponent. So very interesting strategically to kind of build your approach to victory around that mechanic.
Well, the red team, unfortunately, with being killed off there by the blue team, was unable to push with this Immortal, so it looks like it will be dealt with accordingly. But you can see how strong it is. It is kind of chunking through those turrets, and it was able to get through them pretty nicely. Now, moving into the mid-game, you're going to see the red team trying to group up once again, allowing the Vikings to try and keep soaking on the map. But the blue team is doing such a good job of staying together and not allowing Gazlo to ever set up in other areas besides the Immortals. Absolutely,
and there's the Butcher. We saw that Butcher brand there right on top of Uther. That is such a dangerous time when the Butcher is able to take health back from his opponents. Of course, Diablo just trying to say, go away! But that Uther trying to run away with his life falls on top of him. That's not a good position for him.
Uther low on HP, but looks like he might just barely get away, as he always does. But Diablo was taken down for the red team, and now it looks like Gazlo and Jane are going to be forced to retreat. No, they're getting picked off once again in the blue team. When it comes to straight team fights, they're doing so good. That's what the Butcher does, man. He really targets people down, and oh no, lands a slaughter, catching Gazlo, and now the blue team, having 3 members taken out for the red team, are going to be able to kind of rotate and get ready for the next Immortals, which will be spawning pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tim, what do you feel like is the strategy here? I mean, there's so many choices on a battleground like this. Do you defend your Immortal? Do you go offensive and attack all in on the opposing team's Immortal? Do you stay in lane? Do you manually push as heroes? Do you go for siege camps? What do you feel like is the winning strategy here on the battleground?
It all comes down to your composition. We've been seeing the red team, again, with Gazlo setting up on the defensive side and waiting for the blue team to make mistakes or rotate out. The blue team on the other side, though, want to be aggressive. They have a team comp that's really good at taking out heroes. After they take out heroes, they can deal with their opponent's Immortals. So you're going to see them be a bit more aggressive. They want to get to their opposing Immortal before Gazlo can get their set up. So it's all this kind of war of who sets up first, who gets the positioning, and who can really make the plays first.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also seems like your teams can sort of make a choice. Are you going to push the other team into making decisions reactively to you, or are you going to sit back and play defensive reactionary against the opposing team? Allow them to kind of say, okay, we're going to go here, so then you play reactionary and then try to win team fights. I mean, there's so much versatility in how you can approach this battleground as it matches up against the strategy of your opponent. And of course, right now we did see both teams kind of turning their eyes towards Merc camps before that the Immortal phase spawns, which is happening right now. Both Immortals are up in the center of the map, but we see so many Mercs pushing for red here in the top. Fallen Shaman right here. Watch this too. I think we do see a resurrection here from the Fallen Shaman in the top lane.
Yep,
there you saw it. So you don't want to focus the Hounds. You want to focus the Shaman, get them out of the fight so that you're not taking more damage than you need to.
Well, the blue team has pressure on the bottom lane, but the red team realizes they need to get in here and fight, because this is where they've actually gotten advantages out, and they're going to move in. They do a nice job of hitting a grapple bomb and taking out one member, but the falling sword here from Johanna is able to take out a number of members. Her unstoppable has really kind of helped with dealing with this wombo combo, but she does fall. 2 members down for the blue team. Red team trying to chase down, taking out a few more. The Butcher, though, is really just going to work on these Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely. Butcher right on top of Olaf. He is not going to make it out of there alive. Blue team also trying to just push red out of the center and maintain maintain map control. There goes Gazlo. And here is Uther just trying to put up a fight. Blue team actually deciding to push back, try to regroup and focus maybe around this objective here below.
Yeah, the blue team realizing what the red team strategy was, finally just goes straight for the throat. They go for the fight. They got pressure on the bottom lane. They're able to take the fight pretty well. It looks like they're going to be able to get this forward as well, or this keep, which is meaning the Immortal will go to the top lane because they still have a forward available. So they probably will set up from potentially maybe an all-in in the bottom lane, go straight for the core and threaten that. That way their Immortal can actually deal with the forward in the top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Blue team ahead on this objective fight this cycle. The red Immortal at 50%. We are going to see them change positions. These Impalers are totally chunking away at that top fortification against blue. And yep, we're seeing them set up in their new positions here. Butcher right there on top of the Immortal. And of course, he has to dance out of that melee cleave in order to not receive damage, get the knockback, and receive his stun.
All right, the entire team for the red team has spawned up, and they do want to get to the Immortal quickly here and start setting up their turrets. And it looks like they'll be able to. But remember, the Immortal for the blue team has full health, so they really want to try and maybe start getting aggressive. You see them setting up a few turrets, but already in the bottom left, you see Rhaegar, Tassadar, the Butcher really setting up to go in for a fight, and then you do it ASAP, particularly on Jaina.
Yeah, and I want to point out how awkward it is to play on this map in terms of vision. Like you were saying before, so many nooks and crannies. All of those rocks have issues with line of sight. It actually makes it really difficult to know where people are on this battleground, and that can be super dangerous for squishy heroes like Jaina or Kael'thas. You know, when you're traveling through that center area, it is actually remarkably dangerous.
Yeah, a few members got picked up there because they didn't see Johanna, and Johanna came in. She brought her falling sword, followed up with a condemn, and picked up a couple of members. The red team were able to salvage it pretty decently as they got a couple of takedowns, but overall they have lost this fight. They use their entire wombo combo, so they're forced to pull back and try and find a different area to go.
Blue team still in control of the center, but red team, realizing they do have the numbers advantage, are pushing back down to get on top of this objective. Gazlo there trying to just set up shop, which is of course a really interesting component about this battleground. I feel like Gazlo is a very strong hero in this battleground for his ability to control space.
Yeah, the entire middle of the map, he just kind of owns this area if he doesn't get picked off immediately. And his team's doing a really good job of kind of backing him up. And you see him setting up turrets all in these small nook and crannies.
Oh,
the thing is, the Butcher shows up and says, "What up, man?" Takes him out. It's gonna get a takedown. Now we have the Butcher going to chase down another member as well. It looks like Uther with Lamb for the slaughter. He just picked off.
So sad. His eyes widen as he sees this horrible melee assassin of the Butcher descend upon him. And meanwhile, blue team taking over control of this center area and focusing their attention on that red Immortal.
Yeah, the blue team finally going to be able to take down some Immortal. Diablo's going to try and slow it down. But the problem is they don't have much damage here as the Vikings have to go in at a certain angle, and they also have to get an amazing boat off. But the blue team can really do a good job of defending against that. And now the Immortal goes in the middle. He's going to take out the red one, unfortunately. And now the blue team has that advantage to be able to.
So we've seen a lot of back and forth. It was blue, red, now back to blue for these Immortal cycles. We're in the third one, and of course, it will continue to cycle that way throughout until the end of the game. It's essentially...
By the way, new catapults.
Oh yeah, pretty sweet. Those things are so cool. Each side has their own unique art for those catapults, and it's unique to these battlegrounds. Again, huge shout outs to the art team for the unique, specific design that they put into every bit of the artwork here.
Here's that range attack that you were talking about being on display, and you can see the shield kind of depleting as they're using those abilities. And as soon as he does finish off the entire shield, he does move into melee range, which makes it easier for the red team to defend against him. But for now, the blue team, being awarded for playing so well in that Immortal phase, is going to be able to use a lot of range tactics to take down these turrets.
I do want to talk about that one more time. So as you're in the Immortal phase in the middle of a fight, the more you defend your Immortal, the stronger that she will be when you enter the laning phase. So very important to make the most out of that Immortal combat phase in the middle.
The red team, though, putting up a fight here. They did hit a 5-man wombo combo. The Viking boat finally going off here, and it looks like Gazlo's in trouble. No, he pulls back in time. It's going to heal up. Can Jaina and the Vikings chase? So the Vikings doing their best to try and apply damage anywhere, but the team is doing a good job at soaking those shots for them. Blue team now forced to retreat, and that was a decent fight for the red team. However, they did lose the key because Immortal was very, very powerful, and they chased a little bit too much.
Man, see, he's still in this fight, wreaking havoc on these structures for blue, and yeah, red team has to pull back to clean it up and get back into control. Of course, blue team up by 2 levels now, significant lead for them, and in fact, pushing ever closer to 20, where they get that really, really strong boost in power. Red team trying to take out these catapults as well. Those are very, very strong minions that push in the lane when you lose your keeps in the inner circle. So yeah, they do have to clean that up. Red team turning their attention to the Fallen Shaman in the middle as well, and blue team smartly picking up mercs here in the bottom.
Yeah, both teams are trying to get pressure on the map because they know the next Immortal phase will be here soon. And this is the point where you need to start figuring out as a team, do you want to get aggressive on your opponents? Do you want to move towards their actual mercenary camps and try and take them down quickly. And I believe the blue team is going to start grouping up. There's only one mercenary camp available. It's in the very top 12 o'clock position, and the Butcher is heading straight there.
Yep, he wants to pick it up for sure. Red team already there. Gazlo setting up shop with his turrets. Let's see. Oh, Butcher realizing he can't go in by himself. He is too fragile. He needs
the falling sword.
Nice. I love that heroic. So cool. This is just a knockdown, drag-out fight here. Johanna absolutely in the middle. That's where she wants to be. Oh, Butcher's brand on Diablo. Huge heal there from Rhaegar. Diablo falling low and taking out the fight. Blue taking over control. Divine Shield on Uther as he does evacuate. And of course, Eric scurrying away, able to get away from that fight as well.
Unfortunately for the red team, the entire team was not there, and Johanna just did work. She's so anti-wombo combo. They did not really figure out the plan of what she could do. And now the blue team could totally just take this top lane and push it down and take down the core and win. And if they do, please pay attention to the core. There's a little surprise that might pop out.
Cool. For those of you that just love, one of the things I do want to talk about is that focus on Diablo. How do we bring Diablo to the Nexus? I love that the design team has really poured a lot of energy into trying to figure that out. And like you said, these cores, the art, the feel, the vibe, it is something, tons of attention, to try to essentially take a whole nother franchise, whole nother game, bring the feeling, bring the sounds, bring the look, the emotions into this Battleground. It's super, super cool. Of course, the blue team just trying to seal this game totally in almost an unstoppable position against the red team as they're wailing away on this core, and that will be the end of the game.
Keep an eye out. Here it is. Look at all this legendary loot gonna pop out. Boom, there it is, gold and nice items everywhere for the awards for the winning team. So